Welcome to Joshua Tree National Park. There is snow on that mountain. And we are gonna walk this cool looking trail while looking at this rocky mountain. Whoever named the Rocky Mountains didn't see these mountains first. We have just parked at Joshua Tree. There's a pretty spot over there. There are Joshua trees over here. And this is our campsite, which is making the list for things to do. Number 1, camping at Joshua Tree. Even if camping isn't for you. It's safe, it's quiet, it's inexpensive for those on a budget, and it's an experience you're sure to remember. We stayed at the Black Rock campground. It is $25 per night, and be sure to book in advance as campsites fill up very fast, like a month or two in advance. Also, be sure to look at the driveway details to make sure your vehicle can handle the campsite. We definitely did our research for picking which camping location and decided on number 84, which, once we were there, we were very happy with. The roads are a little rugged, but most cars will be able to handle it. The Black Rock campground is also a horse campground, so there's a good chance you'll see some horses. There is also some cholla cactus here, but more on that later, because there's going to be tons of chollas. But we did find a stink beetle, or a butt-up bug, or a stinky bug, whatever you want to call it. Here's your stink bug. What if you get sprayed?
Oh, they're not like skunks.
And then as the sun sets, the sky turns magical, and then soon the lights of Yucca Valley look like little stars on the ground. Which brings us to thing number 2, stargazing. Joshua Tree National Park boasts some of the darkest night skies in Southern California. It is an international dark sky park. If you're camping, Cottonwood is the darkest campground. But if you're not camping, there are 4 designated stargazing areas. And the sunrises are an amazing way to start off your next day. Off to the National Park entrance we go, but first, you have to stop at the Visitor Center, which is thing to do number 3. There's lots of good information, you can talk to a ranger, and since you're here, you can pay for and grab your entrance ticket here instead, and save a little bit of time for the potential long line at the gate. See, getting your ticket early saves time in this line. Once they see your ticket on the car, you can keep going. It's a win-win. When you first enter, it's a long highway of just driving, which I appreciate that there's not a ton of turnouts immediately. It's like a national park prologue. We'll be staying on the north side for this trip. It's a dedicated long drive to the south side, and we only plan for about 3/4 of a day to explore, so the Cholla Gardens is the furthest south we will go, which, as you'll see, is well worth it. And we find ourselves at the trail where this video first began, and also thing to do number 4, which might be one you've never heard of before, and it's to take photos posing like Joshua trees, or hugging cholla cactuses, or like Hercules lifting giant boulders. Yes, absolutely goofy ideas, but it's so fun. When the road splits, which way do we go? To the right. Can you please mimic that one? We're mimicking Joshua trees. Beautiful, beautiful, you got it. Number 5 is wildlife and flowers. If you visit in April, many flowers are in full bloom and it's lovely. Also in full bloom are the lizards because they were everywhere. But if you're afraid of lizards, don't be worried because they hide very well and keep their distance from people. On today's Joshua Tree interviews, we're interviewing this lizard. What is it like to be a lizard in Joshua Tree? I agree. People definitely climb this, and there's lizards everywhere. Pretty view. Everywhere. Happy birds. Other wildlife you can expect to see are desert tortoise, and yes, there are signs which are really adorable. More than 250 species of bird, 57 kinds of mammals, including kangaroo rats, black bear, bobcat, badgers, and bighorn sheep, more than 75 species of butterflies, tarantulas, scorpions, and yes, even 2 amphibian species are found here. Number 6 is Keys Viewpoint. This viewpoint provides panoramic views of the Coachella Valley. On a very clear day, it is even possible to see Signal Mountain in Mexico 90 miles to the south. We did not actually go here because we went to the Palm Springs aerial tramway instead and enjoyed our panoramic views from that side of the valley. Welcome to Hall of Horrors. I don't think there's actually like a big slot canyon, at least we haven't found one yet, but there's lots of rocks to climb and explore. And you feel like there's gonna be a snake around every corner, but you know there is a lizard around every corner. Very pretty views though. They say this is where you can hike a slot canyon, but we literally could not find it. We even ran into 2 other hikers who looked like avid hikers that asked us if we found the slot canyons, which we didn't. Side note, there are actually 2 slot canyons. One's a little bit thinner than the other and they're side by side, but they do take a little bit of scrambling to get there. So we ended up finding our own types of hallways, as you can call them, but this stopping point was one of the more memorable locations because there was so much to see, and I would highly recommend. Don't forget to find this boulder and take your Hercules photo op here. So your cat face or something. Finally made it to Skull Rock along with everybody else. Number 8 is one of the most popular destinations, so of course I have to mention it, Skull Rock. There's a fair amount of parking, but not totally great either. I think it's a neat spot. Skull Rock is a must if you're here. There is Skull Rock, and surprisingly it wasn't as busy as I anticipated. Number 9 is the super amazing Cholla Gardens. Be ready for the longest portion of your drive as you head south. There will be a noticeable change in the elevation as you go south too. You will see less Joshua trees that begin fading into groups of Cholla cactuses, and then boom, you're in an entire grove or garden of these Chollas, as the rangers at the visitor center told us that many people have had to go to the hospital because of these Chollas. Welcome to the Cholla Gardens. As you can tell, they are literally everywhere. In the ranger's words, she even said that the toughest looking people have had to go to the hospital before because these Chollas, or jumping Chollas, have barbed spines that grip on so tightly that a segment of the cactus itself breaks off too. It is also common to find fallen spines along the ground, so definitely watch your step as well.
And those suckers will get you.
I touched one. And, yeah, I'm just glad it's one.
It got you.
It got me. Wait, that's a dead one?
That's a dead Cholla.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a dying one. That's interesting. That's Turkey Flats and the Colorado Desert, right?
Yes.
And we're going into the Mojave Desert.
And it would have gone into the Mojave.
So apparently you can kind of see a little bit of,
The basin.
no, like she said it was like glacier streaks.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where you can tell the difference between them. And finally, number 10, which, stay tuned, there's a bonus number 11 after this. But number 10 is the 49 Palms Oasis Trail. Decisions. This way? Which we just came from? Or this way? Which we haven't. So, we are going
To the right.
to the right. Which you actually have to leave the park for a minute and then drive back in. This trail is not for the faint of heart or in the middle of the day without water. Okay, we are driving to the Oasis at from 29 Palms to 49 Palms. And the road, I don't know if I would take an RV through it. It's a little questionable. This 3-mile out and back hike is a tough one, but from the pictures, it is well worth the trip. No drones, no bikes. How could you even take a bike up here? We are here at the 49 Palms Oasis Trail, which is a 3-mile round trip, but it says difficulty's hard, lots of elevation gain, and so we just went up and over the hill and kind of looked, and yeah, there's a lot of hiking, and it's like noon, so we are not doing it. Too hot, too long, too difficult. So here's what it looks like. Here's the other side. So this is as close as we're getting to the Oasis. Please note that during the summer, when you don't really want to go anyway, this part is closed, as bighorn sheep increasingly rely on this oasis spring during this time. And bonus number 11 is all the other stops along Joshua Tree. We ended up only spending about half a day exploring the national park and didn't stop at all of the great locations, so I'll just let exploring the other stops be a new travel adventure for your next travels. Okay, we are officially leaving 49 Palms and heading to Big Bear, which means we are done with the Joshua Tree National Park portion of our trip. So we're waving bye to 29 Palms and hello to mountains and snow. Stay tuned for the next Southern California adventure of Big Bear, where we ride a mountain roller coaster and it is so fun. See you next time. Safe travels.